How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Rebuilding Dortmund. If you didn't see yesterday's video, because it did go up slightly late, or maybe you missed it for whatever reason, go watch it. Rather important. Today, we are back, and today, we finish season number 3. Hertha Berlin await us. It is the DFB Pokal final, and you might have spotted it by this league table. I can confirm we've won the Bundesliga, 81 points this season. Last year, we got 87 points and only won the league on goal difference. Bayern Munich dropped off. We dropped off. Just not quite as much. I'm going to assume that you watched to the end of yesterday's video. If you didn't, you maybe missed some of the discussion around the future of this series. Plan of attack today, end things on a high. Tomorrow we do a transfer special. And the day after that, we have Dortmund in the future. That's right, we're going out on a high, hopefully, by beating the old enemy in Hertha Berlin here. You know, he starts off as Union Berlin manager. It ends things, hopefully, with us beating their local rivals. Today is episode number 23 of Rebuilding Berlin. We have one game left to do, a season review to conclude as well. We'll get into all of that and more straight after the intro. Yes, folks, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. If you missed last episode, it was disappointment against Monaco. Discussed at the end of the episode. It felt like this season might be a good point to wrap things up. Back-to-back Bundesliga winners with Dortmund, of course, having got them promoted back to the bid time as well. And naturally, I've looked at the calendar, FM23, the beta probably comes out in the next 3 weeks, probably nearer 2 weeks as you watch this. With that in mind, I want a break. But before I can go on my merry holidays, one last little bit of action to attend to. Now, since we were last here, we did play a fair amount of football. It was not a flawless end to the season by any means. We beat Bayern Leverkusen. We beat our future opposition in today's game in Hertha Berlin 4-2 as well. We did have 2 defeats, though. The first of these was against Werder Bremen. We also lost against Wolfsburg, but in between, a 7-0 win. Adamu's goal scoring continued to be pretty good this year. 24 goals, 5 assists, just short of his tallies from last year, but of course did have some injury issues. And besides that, it was just a nice, convincing end to the season. We finished things up with 3 wins in a row in the league. In the semi-finals of the DFB Pokal against Cologne, we won 3-1. Adamu got a hat-trick. Notto got 2 assists. Gruder got an assist as well. And speaking of Gruder, 19 assists, 12 goals for the season. Not quite the same tallies as last year. Still an absolutely ridiculous season for this man, who is still yet to play for the German national team. And just as a reminder, he is part Albanian. He might end up playing for Albania. And here is a final look at some of the stats and such for the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich finishing second, of course. Werder Bremen go into the playoff finals, where they'll be taking on, obviously, the team from the league below. Elsewhere, Schalke, Eintracht Frankfurt and Gladbach all only narrowly avoided the drop. In fact, you can see here, it was very, very close at the bottom. Hertha Berlin in 8th, all the way down to Werder Bremen in 16th, separated by just 10 points. Top goal scorer was Adamu. Most assists was Gruder. Average ratings, we've looked at this a few times before. Definitely slowed down a little bit in the second half of the season, and especially the last few games, we kind of felt like we got the job done. That said, still a sea of players with some rather good ratings across here, including Adriano, who recently scored his first goal for the national team in Germany. That warmed my cold heart just a little bit. Anyway, we are going to get straight into the DFB Pokal. After this game, I want to do a bit of a season review and a save game review. 6 seasons we've had here in Germany, which, when you think about it, that's not an insignificant Football Manager save game. It's kind of quickly and crazy how that's flown by over the last, well, few months now that we've been managing here on YouTube. And I've really enjoyed my time here in Germany. It's been fun. I'd love to end it on a high. I believe we are playing at Berlin Stadium here, the Olympiastadion Berlin. So technically, Hertha Berlin do have a weird home advantage here. Hopefully that won't be a problem. In terms of team news for us, Bino Gittins is injured, but besides that, we are at full strength. Of course, this is a very, very strong team, a very, very strong bench as well. We've won this competition twice as Union Berlin manager. We've not won it as Dortmund manager. I'd like to set that wrong right today. Okay, here we go. Our final game here in Germany. Our final game in the match engine of FM23. I feels oddly emotional in a weird way coming back here for one last time. This game I've had a lot of fun playing. We've played a whole lot of Football Manager, but FM24 is not far away. I'm going to have a few weeks of chilling out. There will still be Football Manager content, just not Let's Play stuff. As kind of we look towards the new game, I want to do some videos talking about the J-League, the new league that's going to be added to the game, and also just everything else that's coming out around FM24. I feel like there's some excitement in the air for what's to come, and yeah, after a year with FM23 where I reflect on it, I think I had an amazing year from a content point of view, but the game definitely could have been better. I actually still feel a bit sad moving on from this game. That might be a weird emotional thing. I don't know if people feel it with save games. Maybe I feel it more because this is my career at the end of the day. But every Football Manager, good or bad, it has its own little quirks. It comes with its own little memories. And a lasting memory of this save game for me will be Adamu. His goal scoring's been ridiculous, hasn't it? Like, genuinely, his attributes are good. They're not the kind of attributes that justify the numbers that he puts in. He feels like a player who just fits the match engine. And with finishes like that from range, I mean, yeah, he's been stupendous. There is another kickoff highlight here. We're less than 2 minutes into the game. We've taken the lead. If this just turns into a big blowout of a game, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimactic way, isn't it, for our time in Germany to end? It's really going to make it feel like the league just wasn't very competitive, nor was the nation. If you were wondering, by the way, where are Bayern Munich? They actually lost in the semi-final to this Hertha Berlin side, so I can't underestimate them. They are going to be good. That said, when I look at our team, I do feel like we should have the edge over them. Hopefully that is going to be seen on full display here as, well, we've taken the lead early. That said, they are coming forward. Derda just dances through and Jovic saves it and then it's booted clear. If you thought we were going to go a goal up and then it was going to be easy, that chance there might just convince you otherwise. Nonto with the ball, cutting inside for us. Gruder has it. Now, Kameri, oh my word, that was a bone-shuddering tackle. I think he might have even won the ball, but the red card's going to be shown. They're down a man, Hertha Berlin. We've had a goal, we've had a sending off all inside the first 10 minutes. And I do fear now that is going to ruin the competitiveness of this game. We'll see whether or not that happens. But yeah, I mean, we should be... If we don't win this game now, I will be fuming. And that comes off the back of the Monaco game last episode, where across the two legs, I don't know if I've had worse luck. I didn't really have time to reflect on it last episode because I was in such a rush to get the video turned around. But genuinely, like, yesterday's matches against Monaco were so unlucky. I feel like we're due a bit of luck. I guess it's coming here. Gruder, options inside. His cross is blocked. I mean, saying all of that, they could just hit us on the counter. Football Manager could really screw me over in this last game. And then, you know what? Maybe I'll change my tune. Then maybe I won't feel emotional about leaving the game behind. Maybe I'll be excited for what's to come. Adamu scored a header. I think he's offside. I'm scared to celebrate it. Is it going to count? The VAR officials are going to check it. Goal review checking. It's been a given. I'll be honest, I didn't think that was going to be given. I was waiting for goal disallowed to come up. It's not come up. We've scored. It's his 36th goal of the season. Was it Becker with the assist? Of course it was Becker with the assist. On the volley, into the mixer, the number 9 scores another. I would be very interested to know down in the comments, what have your thoughts been on FM23? Is it a game that you picked up, that you've played a lot of? Have you gone back to an earlier version of FM? Have you continued to play it all year round? I feel like everyone's relationship with Football Manager varies a little bit. From my own point of view, this game didn't bring a load of new stuff to the game. I think it did improve the previous year's game in some ways, but not as much as I was hoping it would, at least when the features were initially announced. Versus FM24, I definitely feel like I have more excitement for next year's game. There's a weird giddiness almost for the new game, which I didn't really have last year. Whether or not that's because I feel like this save game has hit a natural conclusion or not, I'm not really sure. Okay, 2 minutes of added time came and went very quickly at the end of this half. We are 2-0 to the good. They've had a sending off. They've created nothing. I don't want to say it now. I think we're winning the DFB Pokal for a third time in 6 seasons here in Germany. We've played 20 minutes of this half already. Not a great deal happening in it, so we'll change things up. Giovanni Reina, on you come. Shelder up, you can come on for Nonto as well. Kameri's not had the craziest of games. Verts, on you come. And you know what? Let's just make changes for the sake of it. Orata, on you come as well. Subs made. Are they going to have an instant impact? Kameri bringing the ball forward in that wide area. Lays it inside to Gruder, who's due to come off the pitch and has not yet come off. He will come off now. He had a chance to score there and make me change my mind. He fluffed it. Christiansen in the wide area. Lays it inside to Mansverk. From range, tries to pull the trigger. His effort is blocked. Still some defending needing to be done here. Hertha Berlin committing men forward, but Adriano wins the ball in a great area. It's a 2-on-2 at the back, and in fact, there's a man on the near side. It's Shelderupt who could make something happen. He will get there to the rebound. I don't blame Adamu for going for the hat-trick there. His shot hit the crossbar. Lots of fortune about it. We won't complain. 3-0 up, only added time left. This game here is going to finish 3-0, and our final image of our Dortmund team in the match engine is going to be them hoisting a trophy aloft. What a performance this year. What a performance in this save game. Did I think that we'd go from relegated to back-to-back Bundesliga winners in 3 years? Not really. And to be honest, last year we played so much better than we did this year in terms of the league. But ultimately, we're going to get more reward this season for what we've achieved. And perhaps it's made more impressive by the fact that we did have that Champions League football to contend with. Trophies hoisted aloft. I feel like at this point we've prevented Bayern Munich winning the league the last 2 years. Maybe the dominance of Bayern Munich's over. Or maybe I'm going to retire, go into the future, and whilst I'm gone, they're just going to win everything. That's quite a football manager thing to happen, really, isn't it? Dortmund do the double, and if I'm not mistaken, this is my first time winning the domestic and league titles in the same season in FM23. I don't know if I should admit that or not. It feels like something we should have done sooner, but I did just have the Steam achievement pop up for it. We've got some money in the bank. We are into the Hall of Fame for English managers as well, down in 10th place, 3 domestic divisions, 3 domestic cups, and also 1 other club trophy. I guess that was the Super Cup, wasn't it? I mean, you can see here the stuff we won over the years across our 2 stints at different clubs in Germany. Not a bad time. Apparently, we were the biggest overachievers in the competition. Does that just mean that no one else overachieved? I don't feel like it was that bigger an overachievement, was it? What was the board expectation for the competition? That's what I'm now wondering. I mean, the board expectation was to reach the latter stages. I don't feel like we overperformed that much, but I'll take. It sounds like a good thing to achieve. It's not really a bad thing to overachieve necessarily, even if I do feel like it's borderline insulting. Addons picks up man of the match, 2 goals to his name. Gonna give him some praise. And with that, our 6th season here in Germany, our 3rd season at Dortmund comes to a close. Top goal scorer was Addons. Viper got 22 goals, or 25 goals on off the bench. Don't know why, I can't read numbers. In terms of average ratings, not entirely surprising. The goal scorer's right up there. Gruder, perhaps the player of the series, at least in terms of our time at Dortmund. Sensational. I didn't think he'd be able to match his numbers in the Bundesliga too. He's done that for the last 2 years in the Bundesliga. Possibly the best £8 million we've spent in FM23 all year. In any save game, dare I say. Just looking at my own manager here, you can see what we are known for. You can see what our characteristics are. Media handling is just 1%. So what happens if you don't attend any press conferences? Here you can see our manager history. Total value of players bought, 572 million. Value of players sold, 434 million. Most expensive signing, Nonto. Most expensive sale, Makoko. The sale that, I mean, you wonder how different would this save game have been had I not sold him. If he'd still been around, would we have picked up Nonto? Would we have been good in the Bundesliga in our first season? Would he have been the man getting all the goals instead of Gruder? I mean, lots of questions we'll never know the answer to. I mean, in terms of what we achieved across all the different clubs we managed, we did really, really well. 2 DFB Pokals with Union Berlin, a DFB Pokal and back-to-back Bundesliga titles with Dortmund. I think we can call this a resounding success, which when I measure it against perhaps some of my previous seasons in Germany, never really been able to say before. If you're wondering about the overall best 11 here at Dortmund, this is the overall best 11. You wouldn't really know it looking at it because so many of these players are just current first team players. I think one of the players who I have to give a bit of credit to here is Jovic, a bit of an unsung hero. Sometimes the goalkeeping position is a position you put under the microscope in Football Manager, and people, especially in YouTube comments, pick up on as, you know, is a goalkeeper bad or good? Didn't see too many Jovic complainers over the years, and for a player who had never played for the first team before I came in, stepped up in the Bundesliga too, won us the league, won us back-to-back leagues now, averaging a 7.0 rating exactly. In fact, his 2 seasons bizarrely similar. And I mean, what a player this guy is. Coming through the academy, a German international, was previously capped for Bosnia, has now declared for Germany. Can he do that? Can he do that? I thought once you'd played for a nation, you can redeclare, or is it because he's never played competitive games for Bosnia? I don't know. I mean, if he starts playing for Germany, there will be an inquest. Talked about Gruder a lot. I think another player who deserves some praise is Adriano, a player who I know has been getting talked about a little bit in real-world football. Certainly one of those players who has become someone on my radar through Football Manager in this save game. The kind of player who I'm sure, perhaps if Football Manager has anything to say and is accurate, we'll be looking at in a few years' time playing for some big Bundesliga team thinking, yeah, I remember him from that YouTube save all those years ago. That's certainly my hope and expectation for him now. So like I already mentioned, I am going to do a transfer special tomorrow to try and set the team up in the best possible situation. And from there, I'm going to simulate 5 and 10 years into the future to see what becomes of the Dortmund project that we've set up. That will be its own video on Friday. When that video goes up for Patreon supporters, the save game will be available. That post on Patreon, the website, will unlock for everyone a week later. So if you want to play this save game yourself, you'll be able to do that at the end of next week, unless you're a Patreon supporter, in which case you get it a little bit earlier, just as a little thank you for the support you give me through the year, which has been massively appreciated. And of course, that applies to everyone. The support this year in Football Manager has been mad. Be that Park to Prem, the Arsenal save game before that, the Southampton Bottom at Christmas challenge we did, this adventure. There's been a whole lot of Football Manager we've been doing, and if you're one of those people still watching this video here at the start of October, you are the hardcore of the hardcore. You are someone who I appreciate massively, be you a long-term subscriber who's been here 10 years, or maybe you've stumbled in the door over the course of the last 12 months. I hope you enjoy your stay. I hope I've been able to be a stable aspect of your life, something you can look forward to each and every lunch break, and that will be continuing next year, shortly after I just take the next week or two off ahead of the new game, just to unplug, reset, play the game a little bit less, so I'm even more excited for when the new game comes out. I have got my plans in place, I think, for next year. That will probably be coming in its own video in the next week or two. Anyway, folks, we are going to leave things here for this save game. Thank you, Dortmund. Thank you, Germany. Thank you, Union Berlin. You have been beautiful. I hope you guys have enjoyed each and every moment of it. We'll be back next time with a transfer special, a shorter one where we just try and spend as much money as we can to get in some really good players to cement my dynasty before I resign, I retire, and we see what happens. And probably cry when Bayern Munich just start winning the league again. If you have enjoyed today's video, as always, do drop a like on things. Leave me a comment. Let me know your player of the series down below. Thank you so much for watching this series. Thank you for your support. Transfer special tomorrow to have a little cherry on top of everything. I'll see you guys for it. Until next time, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you all in a bit. I'm out.